What is going on, guys? This is the Imperative MX podcast, episode number 1. I am your host, CEO, and owner of Imperative MX, and alongside me, I have my host, TJ Gillespie, Gillespie, or AKA known around the motocross scene down south, Heavy D.
Yo, yo.
What's going on, brother? How are you?
Pretty good, man. Living the dream. How about yourself?
Good, good. I see that you've been moving around a lot of dirt, and I know that the North Carolina people are definitely getting stoked for what's coming up here soon.
Yeah, dude. We've been over at Silver Valley for the pro shootout, and it was pretty big last year. God, I think it was over like 2,000 spectators. 30, around 30, 35 riders in the two-stroke class and the 450 pro. But this year they switching it up, doing AB All-Star 450 and 250. So, dude, it's going to be legit. I think it's going to be sweet. We was there this past weekend moving a ton of dirt.
That's
350
awesome.
plus loads moved. It's going to be sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome. And here towards the end, we'll get a little bit more into that. I definitely want to get dive in a little bit more deep since Silver Valley is going to be on board with us in this podcast, and that we will be also sponsoring the race that Heavy D will be moving all of the dirt for you great riders and pros that will be coming out to Silver Valley MX Park November 3rd through the 5th. First, I'd like to give it up to some of our sponsors, other sponsors that are on board with the podcast. It is going to be FXR. We know FXR. They have been coming strong into the lit kit game of motocross here recently with the club guys and also others. We will get into more of that later. West Virginia Motorsports, that is where I just recently bought my 2023 RMZ 450, and I could not be any more happier with that purchase from the guys at West Virginia Motorsports. Also, Hydropower, they have Blue Raz. If you have arm pump, any type of fatigue, anything like that, Hydropower is by your side. We will get more into the ads later and the sponsors that are on board. But first, we're going to get a little bit into our background. If you do not know who I am, my name is Zach Newberry. I'm originally from Roanoke, Virginia, and I have been racing for 21 years. I think starting next year, or it might be 22. I've lost count, Heavy D.
A lot of years.
That is a lot of years behind a motocross bike, and I even raced this weekend at the VurbMoto Top Gun Showdown, which we will get into here shortly as well. And so I have a lot of knowledge, and also had a professional license at one time in 2013, but injuries and life currently has now brought me to Imperative MX to bring all of the racing action down south with Heavy D, and I'm glad to have him along with me on this podcast to host, and we plan on doing this every single week for you guys. And yeah, Heavy D, if people do not know who you are, they may know me, but they may not know you. So why don't you give the audience a little bit about yourself and your background within the sport of motocross?
Well, yeah. So everybody that does know me knows me as Heavy D. I got that name from the man himself, Josh Hansen. He hooked me up with that nickname years ago, back when he rode for JGR. But how I got into it is actually, I'm from Harmony, North Carolina, a little small town, not too far from Charlotte, right outside of Mooresville there. And actually, my buddy Garrett Church, him and his uncle Lance Lingle, they opened up a track right across the street from my house. And a lot of guys around, especially down here in the South, been to it, especially back in the day. It was sick. That's how they know of it. And it went for a couple years, and then it became what was formerly known as the Joe Gibbs Racing Test Track. And heck, I used to go over there, run around, and be all in it. And heck, just being around it, I always wanted a dirt bike, but being around that, it got me into it. So I raced for about 8 years or so, and then stopped racing, got older, just knew I wasn't going to go anywhere with it. I wasn't nowhere near good enough. I just loved it enough to get on it and try dumb stuff like
Right.
everybody else.
Right. And
So,
that's what we're here for, and that's the reason that most of us other than that top 1% that we get to see on TV every single weekend or even on our social medias every single day, um, we love the sport and we love the enthusiasm, and it's a family sport, and that's why we love it, and that is why we enjoy it.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I think everybody has a different take on it and how they got into the sport. And heck, I was lucky enough, not like some others, but I was lucky enough to be around a pro scene from jump. I got a lot of insight from jump, learned how a lot of stuff worked, and got to be around some of the baddest dudes in the sport. And heck, I'm thankful for that every day. And I try to be involved in it any way I can, even with if it's just building tracks. I'm a mechanic for a few years, but hell, now even doing imperative with you, and which shouts out for you for wanting me on and helping and being able to help out with imperative. I think it's awesome, and for us to give both our knowledge and insight on the sport from our backgrounds, I think it's going to be awesome. I think people will dig it.
Yeah, man, and that's exactly why I brought you along. And we've talked more through our phones than we actually have in person. But I can tell that as soon as we meet up at Silver Valley at the beginning of November, I can tell that it is going to be just like we've known each other just as long as we've been talking on the phone. So.
Oh yeah.
So no, I'm glad to have you, and everything is going in the right path for sure. And I'm glad to have you, and glad to have all of these sponsors on board, and especially with your knowledge from JGR and being an actual mechanic and getting to see that. I mean, that's definitely got to, and especially in your backyard, and that's something like you were telling me, a couple of days ago that you would get off school and you would just go right over there and want to ride. So yeah, it's very cool to hear your point of view, because you got a different side that I did not get, because I did not get that pro side. I had to work my way up to that point, and when I did, I only did it really for 1 year, so I really didn't get to see any of the actual inside depths and parts or conversations or anything like that. And it will be really cool to hear your point of view, because some of the things maybe that I don't know you do, so you're almost teaching me, which is also very cool, and you're also teaching the audience that is also watching as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think it'll be awesome just because like I think we both had different point of views. Like for me racing, you got to go where I never wasn't able to go. Like that the pro, you got to race pro. I mean, I knew I wasn't good enough to get there. Like I was a C class hero, but that's as far as I got with it. I think I raced one B race, and then I called it quits. I was like, nah, they can have this.
Yeah, because
But
at that point it's balls to the walls.
oh yeah, dude. I had my sights set on other things, especially for my future. But
Right.
like I got to see like how those guys live, and like the daily grind, and like how everybody's style and grind is different. Like everybody may think it's the same, but it's not. And like you got to do that for a year. So like hearing your insight on it, like I think it'll be good for everybody, all parties.
Absolutely, and it was tough to do it on our own. I know that they say, the privateer lifestyle is hard, but it was really only me and my dad, and it was hard and it was rough. Things broke. We had to go and ask factory teams for parts. We would try to pay them, and a lot of them were very very nice and would actually give us parts if we needed something. And so that's cool. And I love the sport so much, and it's cool now for me. It's almost surreal that I get to speak to somebody that was inside of the sport, because I was almost like I was inside the sport, but also outside of the sport trying to get in. Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Like, and I've seen that a lot too. I remember I went to Bud's Creek in 2008 when Stu went undefeated. That year.
Yep. Yep.
Yep, he went undefeated, and Ben LeMay was a privateer that year.
Yep.
and his bikes got stolen. I know David Evans. You know heard of Patrick Evans, haven't you? Like he
Yes.
does.
Yep.
Yeah, his dad, the PR guy and one of the team managers. Like they gave Ben LeMay a ride that year just to help him out there at the end, or just to try him because some of the guys got hurt. But when his bikes got stolen, dude, they helped him out with a ton. And seeing that, like back then, I didn't really pay it no attention. But like now that you say that, it's like people helped you out. It just goes to show how awesome the sport is. Like this is
Right.
a factory team, and they just like the guy was in need, and they was like, whatever you need, dude, let us know. And dude, it was nothing. They helped him out, just for parts there, but still ended up like giving him a ride to finish out the rest of the year. So it's pretty sick.
Yeah, and I've always grown up that hey, if something is wrong with my bike or something is wrong with my competitors, and we have something that we can give them, or vice versa, you know, we don't ever want to lose that way or win that way, and we want it always to be a clean fight, and they'll always try to do whatever they can to make sure that it is right, and that's why I love this sport, and I feel like other sports are not like that.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. I mean, you got to think in this sport, like, no matter how you look at it, like, it's one of the most dangerous sports in the world. And, like, if you can do anything to help somebody, I mean, your life's on the line as soon as you strap that helmet on. So, like, anytime you can help a competitor, I mean, no matter how you look at it, like, I know when you're out there, it's all everybody for themselves. But at the end of the day, you got to have, what you need to keep stuff going. And if a friendly neighbor out there on the track can help, hey, why not? That's what's so great about the sport.
Yep, yep, and I learned that at a very young age, and that's why I dropped. In my personal opinion, that's why I dropped ball sports. I was very good at baseball, and I played other sports, but baseball was my thing, and that's what I originally thought and was setting my goals towards. But once I got a little bit older, around like 10 or 11, nah, man, dirt bikes was it because I wanted to be on the independent. I didn't want to have to, rely on teammates to make sure that they're doing 100% just like I'm doing, my 105 or 110. I want them to be on the same level as me, and sometimes it doesn't work out that way because, people may have beef with others or, with the coach or, whatever. There's too many heads going on, but in motocross or in moto, it's all about you. And that's
Oh,
and that's what I love about the sport. Yes, it's about the team and the bike, but when you get on the line, you are going to war by yourself.
Oh, 100%. That's the thing, dude. It's like a lot of people don't realize like moto, it teaches you a lot of independency, like cuz when you're out there it's just you. Like you say you got the team and everything around you, and it's more than a one-man job. Don't get me wrong. Like
Right, right.
it is a team effort. But when you're on the track, if there's no failures, if something's wrong, like and you don't perform, you can't point the finger at anybody else but yourself because at the end of the day, you're the rider, you're out there, you're controlling that bike. I mean, it's just one motion between you and it. So, I mean, it teaches you a lot of independency. Like, and that's what I like. That's what I loved about it. I played team sports as well, but when I got to eighth grade, I mean, I was like, you know what? I want to go do moto. And it taught me a lot of life lessons, dude. So many life lessons. That's one thing I can't say about the motocross industry. It taught me a lot.
Yep, and same goes for me. I mean, you couldn't honestly have said it any better. It is a physical, mental roller coaster that you go through, but you learn so many life lessons day in and day out. And also, you learn a lot about yourself that maybe you would never learn if you didn't go through the sport. So it's very cool that we both have the same outlook on the sport, which makes this even better.
Oh, at 100%, 100%. Like I said, I couldn't. You hit the nail on the head with that.
Yep,
100%.
absolutely. So before we move into the next topic, I have to give a shout out to FXR. From high performance snow rider gear to motocross wear, FXR has you covered. The continuing growth of FXR means more selection for you. Jackets, jerseys, pants, gloves, and snow gear, FXR has you covered. Go check them out. The best in sizing, fitting, and venting, in my opinion, for the motocross riding gear. That's why I signed up and I got approved for 2023 to have the backing of FXR for I believe, my fourth year with FXR. So I am very stoked to have them on board. So make sure you go to www.fxrracing.com, find them at your local dealer, order them, go and check them out, and thank you for their continuing support. So the next topic we're going to get into, Heavy D, is the VurbMoto Top Gun Showdown from this weekend in beautiful Blountville, Tennessee, like Ken Farrell says nicely every morning at 6:30 to wake everybody up in the pits. And honestly, I was there from Friday all the way until Sunday, and we cannot forget about the $31,000 purse for the Cody Gregg two-stroke Memorial Shootout race. Now, let me tell you something, Heavy D. I've been to a lot of Top Gun showdowns. I want to say probably since 05, maybe 04. Me and my dad, have been going to the Top Gun Showdown. Now, I have seen a lot of faces from Brock Tickle, PJ Larson, Les Smith, all the way up
Legend.
Oh, man. So I've seen so many guys come through, and let me tell you, the competition this weekend on that racetrack and on that starting gate was probably, I would say, from 15 to 35 in a pro national for the top 20 riders.
Golly.
It was chaos. I mean, one guy didn't sweep. Burkeen swept the two-stroke, which really helped him out. But other than that, from the results that I seen, and from what I've saw, nobody really dominated. It was always about the start. Muddy Creek has always been about the start, and it really came down to that. And there was like Rod Bell really would work his way up. You had Justin Rod Bell, Luke Neese, Chris Canning, Chase Marquier, all the way from Oklahoma.
God, dog, the Canning. What Canning's from? What, Connecticut, Massachusetts?
Connecticut is from where Canning's from. Yep. There was a California on the sheet in the two-stroke race, I do believe. There was Florida. God. I mean, there was a lot of people. Austin Kozad, who is MXer's for Jesus' son, Kevin. Kevin is the owner. Mm-hmm. Yep. And his son was out there as well. So that was cool to see because he does Supercross as well in the 450 class. So that was very cool to see. Now, when was the last time that you were at a Top Gun showdown there, Heavy D?
Oh, man. The last time I was at a Top Gun showdown, I think was 2014, 2015. I was there with Logan Stokes back then.
Ooh. What is Logan doing nowadays?
Dude, he works for his dad, their electrician business, JLS Electric.
Okay.
And they started a band.
Really?
Yeah, he started a band, dude. He's crazy talent. He's a hell of a guitarist, man. Like, insane.
Okay. That's cool. That is very cool to hear. And good that is he done with moto, or is he still riding on the weekends, or?
Nah, he's done. He had his fun doing it, but he's out of it. He's got a kid now. He's got a little boy.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's living the dad life, working,
Okay.
And going to be a rock star.
Cool. Also, hey, nothing wrong with that. And if you got other talents that you want to pursue, then all aboard, go for it, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And it was very cool. So let's talk about the two-stroke race. Now, I went around the pits, and actually I was parked from Luke Neese down on Saturday. So I was looking over his bike. He did some tire changes on Saturday afternoon when I was leaving to get ready for Sunday. But let me tell you what, for the, I believe, 6 or 7 laps that they did, I mean, every single guy was hauling, and even in the divisions, because they, I believe, split them up, or they did the first moto. I can't. No, they did the divisions for. Maybe they did divisions for both. I think they might have did it for both. I can't remember, Heavy D,
Yeah,
to
I
be
think they
honest.
did
There
two
was,
divisions, huh?
yeah, I believe so. But see, in the 450A, they did, because I had to go to the consi. So, um,
Oh, dang.
yeah, I had to go to the consi on the Suzuki. So we'll go ahead and plug West Virginia Motorsports in here before I talk about the Suzuki. If you're looking for your next ride, look no further than my friends over at West Virginia Motorsports. If you are around this surrounding area and looking for a new pre-owned motorcycle or new motorcycle, dirt bike, ATV, make sure to stop by. Don't forget to order your parts for your current bike through West Virginia Motorsports, or alongside walking out the door with that new ride from Princeton, West Virginia. That's West Virginia Motorsports. So I picked up my Suzuki, I would say, about 2 weeks ago, and I couldn't ride last weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend before last, because the hurricane came through. So I don't believe there was much riding by many people on the East Coast. Um, so I, on Friday, rode the bike. I did, went up to Steve Litz to do my suspension. He was the guy that was there, and he's also been doing my suspension for years. So I went up there, and first thing was we looked in the manual for the race tag. Sure enough, it was 110, so we went ahead and set the shock for that, got that all situated, everything was good. Went onto the track for my first practice. I would say within the first 3 corners, I could tell that the front was just too soft. It wanted to dive bomb me into the corners and not want to come up. And also, when I was going over a lot of the bumps, I could feel it harshly going down on the front end. So we made some clicker adjustments to stiffen up the front end. I would say maybe 2, 3 max to stiffen up the forks, and that was it. That was all that we did to the 2022 RMZ 450.
Oh, dang.
Yep, that is all we did. And on Saturday, I ran 450A pretty much as practice, because I am 30 years old now, or about to be next year. So
The 30 plus club.
yeah, that'll be next year, buddy. I can't believe it. And I say it as a joke. I just say 30 because I know it's coming. So I just go ahead and just say it. So, but
Hey,
no.
you might as well get ready for your vet card. It's
Oh,
coming. The vet card, when that it's going to hit home when you hear vet 30 plus.
oh, I know. I'm gonna be on the line. Vet 30 plus. I'm like, oh, come on, really? But it's not like I haven't been racing Mike Brown and Kevin Walker since I was, 15, 16 years old,
Hey, glad
But
I never had to jump in that pool.
oh, and speaking of Kevin Walker, we got to give a little bit of sympathy for Kevin. He hurt himself pretty bad this weekend. I believe he. Oh, I don't remember, Heavy D, but I do. I don't remember the extent of his injuries, but I know that he ended up having to go to the hospital. But he's fine. But there is some broken bones, I believe, some ribs and other things.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure somebody in the comment section here on YouTube will plug everybody in.
Yeah, it was some pretty extensive damage he had going on there. I know he broke 3 to 9 ribs, shoulder blade in 2 places, C7. He fractures T6 and T7.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was some pretty extensive damage going
Yeah,
on there.
no kidding. Okay, so my false statement on he's I'm sure in good spirits, right? But maybe his body is not okay.
Yeah,
So
Kevin stays in good spirits.
oh yeah. But he's gonna come back at some point. I mean, he's gonna come back at some point. I'm sure. But regardless of that, the two-stroke race was just awesome. it was very cool to see so many guys come, and AP gave a huge donation of $10,000, and he was doing it for Dale, and of course the local legend at the moment, the people's champ, Matt Burking got the win.
Matty B.
Whole shotted the last moto and just took off. It was awesome to see.
Dude, that's here's what's crazy. So it's like you like we all grew up with a lot of these dudes. Like, I
Right.
grew up around Matt, watched him, and it's funny, like watching him from minis till now, like his style is identical. It's like it never changes. But it's
Yep.
like he's not doing it to make a career out of it. It's like he's legit doing it because he's having fun.
Yep. And I mean, you can almost look at it as a Eli Tomac situation. Like, not that a bike
Mm-hmm.
change or anything like that. He's just in a good, happy place, and he's just happy, and you can
Yeah,
see it
dude.
out on the track. And the TikTok video, Imperative MX on TikTok, if anybody here listening would like to follow. I posted the video of him right after the podium, or right at the podium as soon as he came up to do the burnout, which I think he got in a little bit of trouble for that because that was brand new. So I think I heard through the grapevine he got in a little bit of trouble, but
Hey.
I'm sure Jan Gammon is gonna be okay, and I'm sure Matt will make up at some point if that is true.
Look, I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm going to say it. They can only get so mad because Magic Mike is the AMA representative. So
Well,
Matty is his baby boy.
yes,
They ain't
sir.
gonna
Yes,
say
sir.
too much.
That is very, very true. That is very true. Yep. Yeah, they can't do but so much.
Uh-huh. Exactly. Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
But really, I mean, I did an interview with Matt for ImperativeMX.com. It's a series I do called Inside the Mind, where I talk to individuals within the sport, whether a rider or a parent or somebody that works for a company. We want to dig a little deep into their mind and see what it was like. And I got to speak to Matt about his experience for the Outdoor Nationals, and that was very cool and very surreal. Me and Matt have known each other for a very long time. I believe I told you, and I'll tell the audience here, that the first time I ever went to a training class was with the legend Ike DeJager,
Mm.
and he made us jump over rope, pretty much. The rubber band that they used to do for starts
Old
at the fair
school.
races. Yes, sir. My dad was on one side, and Mike Burkeen was on the other, and Ike was there telling us full throttle. So I've known Matt ever since I was 7, 8 years old, and we never really got close. I was, as he got faster, and he progressively got faster than me, so it was almost somebody that I looked up to because I wanted to be up there with him, winning some of these local pro races or, whatever, right? To me, he's definitely won the local legend this year for sure.
Oh, absolutely. That needs to be a thing. I like that. Local legend.
Yep. Yep. I
That
used to call Tyler Bright the local legend because he would just come out of nowhere and
oh,
start riding again and just be fast and
dude. Tyler Bright is the local legend godfather. What year was it? Like,
oh
God,
oh
0405
six
Atlanta rips
like
the whole shot.
yeah, dude. I was there. I was there. I can't believe you said that.
Yeah.
Dude, and it was so funny because my top accolades, realistically for the audience at home, my top accolades came from the Arena Cross Series. I am a very, very big, passionate person for the Arena Cross Series because I love that tight racing, bar banging action and the crowd and the little fireworks show that they have and the national anthem and then your 250 heat number one. It's a cool feeling. I loved that series, and it was small, so you could do really, really well because there was Supercross going on and other series going on. So I used to love it. And Tyler would come out and he would just do so well. He was on a team with, I believe, Jim Neese and McDade, and Josh Thomas was one time on the team. Now, I don't know if all of these guys were all together at one time, but I know that that was Jim's group. He had Jim Chester, of course, at one time. But yeah, Tyler Bright, like you said, is the local legend godfather.
Oh yeah, he won a didn't he win? He won a champion. What year was that? He won Arena Cross Championship.
He won Nice or Bright.
Oh, Bright.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I know Jim won one because um I have his number 1 E plate, because my first vehicle was his moto van that they used to take to all the arena crosses, because I was training with Jim. I trained with Jim Neese for 12 years of my life. Every single summer, I would, soon as school ended here in Roanoke, Virginia, I would go to my dad's house in North Carolina, pack all of my stuff up. My dad would take me to Jim Neese's house, and I lived there technically all summer, except for the weekends because we would go racing.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he won a champ. I can't remember what year it was, but the reason I say that is because, like, right after that, like, I know Arena Cross was big, but dude, like, everybody started showing up.
Oh, I mean, when the Ricky Carmichael, I forget what that was called. Was it called Futures at that point? I can't remember. But I
Yeah,
mean,
Super RCSX Futures or something like that.
there you go. Yeah. And I remember Faulkner showing up to like Pennsylvania, and I remember Colt Nichols rode for the Babbitt's Monster Energy Kawasaki team.
Yep.
And man, there was so many guys. I mean, Benny Bloss came through it. Man, there was so many that came. And you know what was cool? It was cool to have Austin Faulkner there. It made it interesting because, dude, Tyler Bowers, Jacob Hayes, dude, all of these dudes wanted to murder him. Like, when I say murder him, I mean, like, punt him into the, all the way up top of the arena.
I think, like, when he showed up, what was funny is, like Bowers and Jacob was, like, trying to legit mass murder each other every round.
Yes.
And, like, for those rounds, they actually forgot about each other.
Yes. They focused on somebody else, and it was almost like they actually worked, as a team, even though they weren't. Because Jacob at that time, I believe that he was on a Cowie, but he wasn't on the Monster Energy Kawasaki or the the Babbitts.
Him, I think Kobe Adams had like it was actually Michael Mitchell helped him, and Kobe Adams out of Mooresville, out of Performance, like, they put like a little program together for him. And dude, like, his bike was pretty fucking sick. Like,
yeah, I mean, in Greensboro when he won, I mean, I got chills, dude. I was in the stands, and
dude, he was like, dude, he was ripping.
It had that nice sand berm. Oh, I remember. Oh, that was so good. That was so. If you remember, what year was that? Was that 14? Maybe 16. I can't remember.
No, that was 14. It was 14.
14? Yeah. I think I'm sure MXP TV. I'm sure Wozni. I'm sure he has it up on his YouTube channel because he was there for a lot of the arena cross stuff. So I'm sure that he has a bunch of stuff that is up there. So.
Oh yeah, dude. He got all the footage of that one. It was sick.
Yeah. So we got way off topic of the Top Gun Showdown. But we're gonna bring it back a little bit. VurbMoto did a great job with the facility, hanging their banners around, and also some little flags around the track. Everything looked good. I personally actually talked to Wes Williams for I would say about 5 or 10 minutes. He was busy, so I got to meet him, and we mingled a little bit. And so yeah, we're actually best friends now. Heavy D. Yep.
Hey, Wes he's not hard to make friends with. He's a solid dude.
Yeah, no, I'm joking, of course, but yeah, absolutely. He was a good dude, and he would, no problem. I walked away because somebody else came up to talk to him, and so I was like, okay, I got my time in with him, and I know that everybody's gonna want to come and see him. He's a popular person in the scene for sure, and
The
so
dude started like the most popular moto like ordeal you could think of. Like,
yeah, I mean, Moto Playground was the magazine that I read, and VurbMoto was the movies and the videos, platinums. Like, I mean, the Barsha 08, 09 platinums. Like,
God,
oh my gosh! And
Claudio Leocotta platinum, Twitch platinum, and Robbie Madison.
the Dreamland. The
Yes.
Dreamland, oh my god! I mean, dude, they make bangers, right? So, like, of course, I want to. I'm in the media. I want to go meet this guy. I've never met him in my life. He's probably shot me before, and I've never met him in my life. So, it was a very cool and very humbling experience, even though it was for like 5 minutes. But for me, such a fan of the sport. I mean, I was tickled shitless, as you could say. So it was cool.
Little do you know, actually, I think he did shoot you. You remember, what was it? Birch Creek 2009, the Verb Ride Day. You remember that one? It was like the first one ever.
Oh, I don't know. You might know something that I don't know.
You were there, dude.
Oh, well, I
Was
mean,
there.
Dude, I've been to Birch Creek. Dude, I can't tell you how many times.
Yeah, dude, it was like 08, 09. It was like VurbMoto was out there. Dude, it was ridiculous packed. It was like, dude, a lot of top kids. Matter of fact, Matty B was there. Burr King was there. You were there. Kyle Peters was there. Alex Fry was there.
Oh wow.
Cody Robbins was there.
Yeah, I might have to look that up there, Heavy D. I haven't seen that.
Dude, it was way back. Golly.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up. If you remember later tonight or tomorrow or something, see if you can find it and send it to me. I'd really like to see that.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. But yeah, like I said, the Top Gun Showdown was awesome. If you were not there, you missed out. And if you've never been to one or would like to, definitely 2023. I'm sure that there will be a bigger pro purse on the line for the Cody Gregg two-stroke memorial shootout. And no, it was really good. I had a lot of fun, and the crowd was good. There was a lot of people there, and apparently, from what I heard, that was the first race that it had not rained this year.
Oh wow!
At that track.
Oh, it was actually. Come to think of it, yeah, it was.
Yep. So, So I'm everybody there that goes to that track frequently was very, very stoked on that. So we're going to move into the next thing, but before we do, have to give a shout out to Hydropower. Hydropower is formulated by a sports nutritionist himself to get rid of arm pump and increase your endurance so you can ride safer and faster. Drink hydropower.com to get your blue Raz today. Next topic. Now let's get into some professional talk. This is, I'm sure, what a lot of people will come here to see, or maybe not. Heavy D. We'll have to see what type of audience that we get. But the WSX was this past weekend, and did you finish up watching all of that?
Oh yeah. Actually, I did it last night.
Awesome. So we had Shane McElrath win I think it's called SX2 class.
Yep, the SX2, yep.
SX2 class. He did not win one. He went 3, 4, 5 for first, or 3, 5, 4 or something. It was pretty wild.
I think it was 3-5-4. Yeah,
3-5-4. Yeah, it was something wild, and I mean he didn't expect it. So, and Eli Tomac dominating once again, just to put a little bit more money in the bank for ET3, huh?
Dude, it's insane. It's like it's beyond to me. It's beyond mind boggling. Like a lot of people, like even when he was at Kawasaki, like Tomac, he's always been a dog, no matter how you look at it. But he's been more dominant this year than he has in his entire career, in my opinion.
I 100% agree with you on that. I believe that
Like,
this right now on October 11th, 2022, this is the best Eli Tomac right now, and he's 29, almost 30 years. He'll be 30 years old in November.
mm-hmm. Like it's like it honestly gives me chills. It's because it's like every like part in Pinnacle motocross, we have a guy that comes along that's just supposed to dominate. Like Villapoto, when he came in, he was dominating. Then he left. And then it was supposed to be like Tomac or Dungy or Roxon, mainly probably I would say Roxon more than anything. And like you had Dungy like still give him a fit. And then Cooper came in and he's been like killing it in Supercross, like a year on winning, year off, uh, and then another year on winning. But if you think about it, it probably should have been like looking at Tomac right now. It's like it should be like Sexton should be that guy that should be the one dominating almost in a sense because he's the young gun coming up.
Right.
But it's like Tomac is just like, damn, like this dude ain't even hit his prime yet. It's like he's just now getting going, switching a team.
Right.
It's like, how do you switch a team and in the first year be this dominant? And they can't say nobody was there because he's had competition since day one on that Yamaha.
Yeah, I mean, it's it normally takes somebody their second year to finally get good with their team. Now, I can't say like Joey Savacci is a very good person for almost like a devil's advocate for what I just said because he can go and fill in on a team and do really well, right? But
Absolutely.
but most riders have to take a while to get acclimated to a motorcycle on a factory team because there's so many parts, there's so many components, so many people, so many different people, so many different engine maps, things on these race teams, and you might have to move and you have to do this, do that, family, whatever it may be. It's harder than what people believe, and Eli made it like it was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like Tom Brady. Just able to switch teams, and it doesn't matter where he goes, he could still win.
Oh, 100%. Like, I couldn't agree more on that.
Yeah, and he's been absolutely dominant this year, so he will not be, which I have been seeing this question pop up on social media by other media members along with the comment sections, even in my own TikTok channel, that why doesn't Eli Tomac race Australia and just win the WSX championship if he just dominated the very first one?
You know, in from my point of view, seeing guys, and everybody knows, dude, Tomac is a fucking workhorse. Like, God Almighty, like
He's an animal.
dude, he grinds. So, like, I can almost say, like, to him, I think it's gotten to where, like, he's not with Kawasaki. It's like, it ain't that kind of pressure no more because I think a lot of people know nothing against Kawasaki or that team, but you can see it from past riders in years. It's like, it's a whole different outtake when it comes to Kawasaki. None of the riders seem happy. They seem miserable. They may go ride and win, but when they're done, they're done. It's like they're almost ready to go.
Yep.
And I watched a video with Tomac earlier in the year, and right when he got with Yamaha, he said he loved what Star Yamaha was doing. They got a bunch of young guys, and he felt like he still had more left in the tank. And I think what it is over there, they're just making it easier for him. So, and they're not worried about that WSX. Don't get me wrong. I think the WSX is sick. It's a great idea. And I think if, like, the teams and a lot of more people get on board with it, it's going to help put a lot more money in the riders and teams' pockets.
Yes. Yep. And I
But
think
at the same time,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
But at the same time, I think Eli. He has his family. He has his kid. He's grinded. Now, mind you, he may be 20, 28, 29, same age as me and you, close to it. But motocross is a big toe. It's almost like your body's 40, 50 years old at 28, 29.
Right.
Because you grind so hard. So I think he just like he wants to chill. And I think it's a good idea. Like I've seen dudes in the pro side get burnt out, especially at a young age. Like it's a grind. So from Supercross straight to outdoors and getting no break, like you need that break to mentally reset more than anything. I think the mental side is more draining than the physical side.
Absolutely. I believe that, yes, I believe that you have to have talent in this sport to make it all the way to the top percent, but I also think that you have to be that 0.001% that is the best mentally fit as well.
Oh, 100%. Because, I think, don't get me wrong, the physicality has a ton to do with it in moto. But you can be the most fit and you can be the fastest dude out there. But if your mentality's not right, you're just Jack from Jump Street.
Yep. Because if you go to the line and you're not thinking that I'm going to go and win, you might as well just pull that bike off the starting gate and go ahead and just walk it back to the truck. Because and if that's if that is your attitude and that is what you're that you're going for, then don't it's it's crazy.
100%. And I look at it as like too, like even not even talking about, but like dude, Freeze, like him up there with Roxon and Tomac.
Yep.
Like I thought that was sick, and I mean, don't get me wrong, like dude, Freezy's my guy. I love Freezy. A lot of people hate him, but I love Freezy.
Yep.
But
he just mixes it up. He mixes it up, and he makes things interesting. Now, I know that we're gonna, we can both agree that some of the things that Vince does is probably definitely not the smartest thing to do in racing.
Oh no, he's like, it's not the smartest, but I think for him, he's trying to race hard. It's like you say, it's not out of like trying to hurt anybody, but it's just like he's trying to be that guy. He's showing up to try and win, even though he may not. Like he knows,
right?
I think in his mind, like, okay, I may not be able to beat this person or this person,
yep,
but I'm gonna get there. I'm going to be there to try and do it.
Yep, and that was cool for him to get a podium this year. I think that in Supercross, I think that meant a lot to him and the team, and along with him Christian Craig for the whole incident. And then I think on that same night is when they got on the podium, or was it I think it was the next weekend because there was a lot of hype going into the next weekend, and I believe that he won. I can't remember which round that was, but.
That was a Triple Crown, I think it was. He won one of them. Was it a Triple Crown?
Yeah, it was a Triple Crown because I think it was the first one when they went into the back and the incident happened.
Oh, yeah. Yep. You're right.
Yeah, because they were talking about it or something. Anyways, regardless of the fact, it was very cool to see, and it was good for Shane. Shane needed, I believe Shane... I don't think people give Shane McElrath enough credit. I have raced this dude ever since that I was younger. Every single time I went to Muddy Creek, I knew that I was going to lose when Shane McElrath and his dad showed up. His dad owned or may still own, a logging business. So, every single time that Shane showed up, he was in physical shape. He was fit.
Dude is from the trenches, son.
Absolutely. He is from nothing.
Nothing but trenches. I mean, you remember the old school Husky, the steel frame?
Yes. Yes. How many hours do you think was on that thing?
Dude, they still got it.
Stop.
They still got it. They never even sold it. They still got it.
Stop.
Hey, the frame has been welded.
I guarantee that you could go out to wherever it is and that thing would start first kick.
Oh, dude. it will still run.
Absolutely. And Shane would still go on. I guarantee he would have probably got top 5, top 10 this weekend at the Cody Gregg
Nah,
thing. Oh, man,
dude.
that's hilarious.
One of my mentors, God rest his soul, Roger Dimsdale from Promotion, he's passed away now, but he told us a story that he was at Muddy Creek because, like, him and Shane was real tight, and, like, they did a lot for Shane, and the frame broke at Muddy Creek, and they drove all the way back just to weld it. And his dad, Max, come to Roger, said, Roger, man, could you imagine if we'd have had an aluminum frame, we'd have been screwed. Roger said, if we'd have had an aluminum frame, this would never even happen.
They drove all the way back?
Yes, they drove all the way back.
Oh, my God. Dude, wasn't it like 4.5 hours or something from their house?
Yes, dude, it was a hike.
Oh, my gosh. But,
Look,
dude,
they literally...
Oh, he was the king of that place, though. He won an outdoor national. It was that? No. He won Buds, so that wasn't his only national win. But that was cool for him to win that year, the overall.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, like, it's nothing against nobody else, but like, I feel like if anybody deserved it, it was him because the dude grinded his way to where he is right now.
Yep, he did, and I got to see it. Maybe not very firsthand, but I got to see his progress, and I went to club in 2012 for, I would say, about a month or so, and I got to just see him grind, and it was a cool and very humbling experience, and I was very happy for Shane because that was the year that he went and won Loretta's and got himself the ride, so so that was cool.
Dude, the dude used to like a lot of those kids that stayed at club, they was on the meal program. My guy used to pop out the camper with like knockoff berry colossals in a plastic bowl and Dollar General milk. Like, come on.
Hey, you know what? I guarantee he's probably the smartest person with money because he came from nothing.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, it would be cool to maybe we can maybe Shane will hear us talking about him and maybe he'll hit us up and want to come on here one day. I would love to actually talk to Shane. I haven't talked to him in a long time. So, but there was a lot of crashes that did happen, unfortunately, at the WSX. Josh Grant and Chad Reed both had mechanical failures to their motorcycles. Grant had a chain issue, and Reed had a fuel pump failure. Now, the chain incident, we can say, okay, that sometimes things happen, right? The fuel...
That was a brand new chain.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, what do you think about the situation? Just a freak accident, or do you think that it was a manufacturing problem?
I mean, I'm not trying to out any companies, but like, I mean, this day and time, like, man, a brand new chain snapping, that's golly. I mean, it's almost like, what was it, Dungy at the Monster Cup in like 17?
Yeah.
The shifter kept bending.
That is. Anyways, yeah, go ahead. That's a whole nother story in its own.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's just like, come on, man, like that. I want to say it's a freak accident. I mean, I can't say it's not, but at the same, because
it's almost hard to not say it's not a freak accident.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm glad. Like, it ain't no worse than what it is. Like, JG's my dude. Been around him a lot, and the dude's an animal. Like, I've seen him KO himself at JGR like
multiple times.
Yes, like, I'm talking about, like, dude should have been like dead, and he still got up just like he did there. He's like, no big deal. I'm all right. I'm the greatest.
Yeah,
like, let's go.
Yep. So Grant had a concussion, but overall he's okay. I do not think that he's going to be going to Australia, or have you heard different, Heavy D?
No, I don't think he's going. I think he's going to have to sit that one out.
Okay. Reed is going, I think, just to hang out, or is he trying to race? He has a broken left shoulder, along with a broken hand and multiple broken ribs on his left side. So I have been seeing Ellie and the kids on the flight, and I'm guessing Chad's with them. So I'm guessing he's just doing maybe media stuff, a vacation maybe.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have spectator tickets for 5.
Yeah, and no charge.
Yeah,
Just come and talk to us. It'd be no problem.
which I mean, I hate it for Reedy. It's it sucks, and I think it was good. Like I think he was gonna have like one heck of a time, and he was really gonna turn some heads. Not that he was trying to make a comeback, but he's been like doing racing with his kids all year. Like they've been traveling around.
Right.
He's been in chilling, enjoying family time, and I guess he just wanted to get back out there and race and be like, hey, Dad can still do it. If you don't want to listen to me, let me show you why I'm Chad Reed.
Right.
But
Right.
unfortunately, turn of events wasn't his fault. I mean, it sucks that mechanical failure happened. Like, come on, a fuel pump, like that's pretty much as bad as it gets. Like, golly, like at least when a motor blows, you kind of got like at least 3 seconds to
Yeah.
realize.
Yeah.
But a fuel pump, that's instant.
Yeah, that's 0.
Yeah.
That is 100 to 0 very quick.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very quick. Yeah, apparently Michael Lindsay over at Vital MX put out a video talking about the teams and their issues with the IMA or the FIM fuel specs over there, and some of the bikes gurgling and also misfiring and different things like that. So that is a little scary, I do believe, for the American riders. What's your take on that, or do you believe that was the issue?
Um. Here's okay. So my take on it, and it's like I say, nothing against any of the riders or anything, but like being behind the scenes and seeing how a lot of this stuff works. Okay, so Reed's been with just about every manufacturer besides Husky and Gas. I want to say just because I mean they were a little bit newer to the side when he came, but I mean it's still KTM. But he's Chad Reed. He's still getting help from all these manufacturers, and I mean it's no big secret that KTM I don't really think is. Am I wrong? They weren't really on board with WSX because of failed, and they had the whole KTM Junior Challenge
Right.
with failed and Monster Energy Supercross. So with that, the other two manufacturers, well, Husqvarna and Gas, they're out. So I mean, I feel like my take on it is it could have been a malfunction there, but I don't think they're going to say anything with Reed being dealing with KTM through Mountain Motorsports.
Right.
So they'll dim the light on something else. They'll put the the actual blame on something else. They'll steer it away, and that way a lot of that shit's just brushed under the rug.
Right, like the pie blame chart does not make any sense.
Exactly. There you go.
Yep. Yeah, and it's almost kind of like a maybe not like a Ken Roxton. He obviously is not going to be riding for HRC Honda because as we know, Colt Nichols, or if you do not know, Colt Nichols is officially taking that spot for SX only in his 450 debut Supercross season next year for 2023. And that is going to be, I believe, very interesting. But what I was saying for Roxon was that he may not be getting all of the help that he used to get at American Honda, and to go and do these World Supercrosses. And like he said afterwards, his bike is completely different. And the same for Reed. Yeah, he went to go and do some secret testing with Roger and them, I'm sure, to probably help with the KTM side, but they weren't going to help him go do these races as far as maybe fuel or maybe even motor work or things like that. Maybe that motor that he was using is maybe a different motor than he had to use in Wales.
Yeah. No, I think I feel the same way. I mean, Rocks and that whole ordeal. I mean, even though he's not with Red Bull is going to foot that whole bill. Like that's no biggie.
Right.
Like
There's
they're going to
there's
foot that whole
there's
bill.
no way you think that those two parties separate, right? You think those two parties are going to be forever.
Uh, the reason I say they're not going to separate is because Red Bull wants Ken and Honda wants Red Bull's money.
Right,
So,
right,
I mean, that's how I look at it. There, if it's a separation, it's going to be something better on the other side of the fence.
right, right. Yeah. There may be that grass on the other side may be a little bit greener.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's how I look at that situation there. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I think I feel. I mean, I'm not trying to like stir up any like rumors or
Drama.
anything,
Right,
but
right.
like I feel like even when like Roxon went and talked about Honda, like he wasn't aiming shots, but the whole ordeal with like him not being able to ride the bike through the whoops and him making that publicly known, I don't think like Honda really liked that too much. You know what I mean? Because I
Right.
mean, at the end of the day, this sport, even with riders, is all about bike sales. That's how the money gets turned over. Bike sales, bike sales, bike sales. And any little flaw, like especially with as many media and even like Motocross Action Magazine, Trans World, as they do reviews on this bike, a lot of guys aren't that great at testing, but the ones that are and they tell that, they're going to make it known to the
Right.
public when they test that bike.
Right. Right. Yeah, and it could backfire. Just like I believe that the post that Ken Roxon put up for 30 minutes that one day of his chain, um, or his chain guide snapping, and him almost losing his life.
Yeah.
I do not think that that was a very good look for Ken on that move, and maybe that was the final nail to the coffin for between HRC and Ken.
Yeah, it definitely could have been like, and I mean, don't get me I mean, it's been a lot, Ken's been through a lot. He hasn't been riding bad since he's been back,
Right.
you know. I just think like in my personal opinion, I don't really think Ken really declined. I just think people got better.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe so. And Ken, I just know that he has his problems because, dude, I mean, I don't think people want to realize. I think they know, but I don't think they want to realize and try to put themselves in Ken's shoes for the amount of surgeries, needles, I mean, medicine, all of this stuff going through his body in such a short amount of time so that he could get back on the track as quickly as possible. And I think by him doing that, I think it hurt him because of the just his body, I guess, through everything just isn't able to be itself 100%. Now, I could be completely wrong, and we know that Ken Roxon can win, and he can, he could show us, right? But by the stat record within the past couple of years since his injury, it has not been good. So it's almost like you can't go you can go against it if you are a true Roxon fan, but if you're going to be placing money, I would not be going to the casino holding up my hand saying, I know that Ken Roxon is going to win the title next year.
Oh, no, I agree. Because at the end of the day, you look at it like my dad always used to tell me. He'd be like, son, it's just like working out. It's easier to get out of shape. It's way easier to get out of shape than it is to get in shape. And just like being off the bike, it's way easier to lose it than it is to get it back.
Yep. And my dad used to tell me it's easier to quit, son, than it is to win.
You're right. Hey, I mean, people can look at it how they want to,
Right.
but in this sport, he's like he hit the nail dead center.
Yep. Yeah. What your overall thoughts on the series, the schedule? So they had heat races, and they also had the Super Bowl, which I personally enjoy. I know that social media is obviously blowing it up right now, but I personally, as soon as I saw the schedule for the World Supercross series, I was very excited for the Super Pole because I wanted to see the Eli Tomac and Ken Roxon ordeal. But I wish that they would bring that into American Supercross, AMA Supercross, because I think that that would be almost. I think that would be cool, and I believe from the interviews from Ken and Tomac and Savachi and all of these other dudes, they say the exact same thing, that they love it being out there, all eyes on them, nobody on the track. It's almost silent except for their bike, and it's a very cool and surreal feeling for them because they get that little roll lap, and then they come around the finish line, and then it's 20% of their riding ability to 110.
Oh, dude, and I agree. Like, the Super Bowl is legit, and here's my take on why. When I was younger, back in the day, watching Braden, Grant, and like Henny and those guys get out there, to me, it's like a private day at the test track, and you get to see them just go out there and just fucking lay it down, like just
Right.
for, even though they can do it like a pretty good while and go have fun, but see them go out there one lap and just throw a heater down,
Yep.
it gives you a whole different outtake, because even like a lot of the guys, like, fans and stuff may bash. They say like, oh, this guy's not that good, like he sucks, or he needs to get out of the way. If you see them go out there by themselves, because you don't really pay it no attention when there's 22 other guys out there.
Right.
But if you see them by themselves, you like, well, shit, like that dude can actually throw down. Like that
Right.
dude's not slow.
Right.
These guys are just a bit faster. But like the Super Bowl is interesting. Like you don't, because everybody misses like practice and qualifying and all that shit. Like there, if you do Super Bowl for gate pick, it's to me it's way more badass.
Yeah,
Badass.
and think about like okay, so let's put it into this way. The reason that I like it is because there's pressure. There's a little bit more added pressure because that might be a track where really it's, we always say it's all about the start, but maybe this track really really is all about the start, and we know it going into it because we've seen, the heat races and stuff like that. So we know, right? But when you go to when you have the Super Bowl, if a mistake is made, that could ruin a championship because of a bad start that you get maybe going into round 17 in Las Vegas, or not in Vegas, but in Utah. And
Exactly.
so I think that would be cool to bring that.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think it's good too, because especially before we like leave the topic, but when they're out there, in free practice, lines are constantly changing. They still do that slow lap before they go on a heater, but some of them get messed up because the line changed. Because you think, if you're out there, within 30 seconds, 22 other dudes have come through there and screwed up one line.
Right.
But in Super Bowl, you take that lap, if you didn't jack it up, it's still there. So you
Yep.
could throw down the heater, and it would mix it up way more.
Yeah, and I think the times would be closer because there wouldn't be other individuals on the track to maybe mess up somebody's line, or even a little flinch by somebody because they're like, oh shit, I may end up landing on this guy if he takes a right or something like that. They might tap the brake, when they land or something like that, when they normally wouldn't do it or something like that, and it's all, you've seen at the test track, and me knowing as a racer, every single second matters.
Oh, dude, every 10th, thousandth, however you want to look at it, matters. Even when you're in the air, like when they step on, step off, it's like a certain line, a certain angle, all that stuff plays a factor in your time.
Yep, and bike setup and things like that for those top athletes as well. Yep. But what would you, if you were to give it 1 out of 10 for the first WSX? I know that us here in America did not get to watch it live, but going back and rewatching the entire show from beginning to end, what would you have to rate it?
I'm gonna give it just because a little, like, I ain't even gonna factor in little flaws. Like, I know it's gonna take some time, but I definitely give it a 8.5 for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
What's
and the only reason I say 8.5
Yep.
is just because not live broadcasted. That's it. But
yeah.
other than that, dude, I'm on board with it. Like, I'm honestly more on board with WSX than I am with Failed.
Yeah. What's your reasoning behind that?
Man, just because, I mean, Failed there, it's almost, and not knocking MXGP, it's almost like MXGP, but with MXGP, like, they get paid basically from the manufacturers. The MXGP don't pay the riders.
Yeah, and they get a lot of they are a world motocross championship, so they're getting paid by these governments to come in to host a world motocross event. Um, so,
Exactly.
but go ahead.
But with WS, like I say, like, it's in the motocross industry right now, and especially with what they're doing, this super motocross, super pro motocross shit they're doing.
Yep.
All they're doing is they're trying to eliminate WSX, and they're making it to where, like, it has to be a choice. You can't go do WSX. You got to stay here.
Yeah.
But with that, it'd be, I think it would be a lot better if they gave these teams and riders more of a platform to make money at the races. They can't make $1 at the races because they can't sell product.
I think it's really hard because you have to think about 4 series, right? You have to think about AMA Supercross, you have to think about Pro Motocross, you have to think about MXGP, and now you have to think about WSX, and all of these align somehow with each other except for AMA Supercross and Pro Motocross, but that's because that's the way it's supposed to be. But other than that, you have WSX in the middle of it, and you have MXGP, and that gives no option for these riders to go and race somewhere else. And now, all the teams apparently were bitching back in the day because they didn't want to add on more races, and now all of a sudden, they're good for it. But I will say the one good thing is that I'm glad that the riders are getting paid more. I hate to see them doing more races because that's just more chance for injury, more chance for these guys to get burned out, in my opinion. And they're doing it for the playoff because that's what the TVs want and that's what the audience wants. Or to bring in different audience, I think, from different spectrums of the earth for a playoff series because NASCAR has it and ball sports have it and all of this. So I think it's a good idea. I'm glad that they're getting paid, but at the same time, I guess I'm just going to have to see how it goes. But it is super unfortunate that these guys can't, they can't go and race some of these other races. Yes, like Eli Tomac's going to go and race Paris. And, some of these guys will go and do the Australian SX series I think they still have that, right? Yeah, so it almost does it because the manufacturers here in America are paying for American races, and they don't have the budget to go and fork over to go to these races. But MXGP, at Motocross of Nations doesn't even pay, the teams or anybody anything. They just kind of just fork in the cash and let it be.
And I've said this for the past couple years now. It sounds stupid. And people, when they hear it, they're going to be like, why in the hell does he think that? But if they wanted the motocross industry to make money, put Brian Deegan in charge of Field, and he will make everybody rich.
They need somebody that, I mean, dude, the live timing. Like, dude, we're still back in 1995.
Yes.
Like, man, and like the WSX series, when you go on to their website, dude, it is so cool. It is interactive. It is, nice and sleek. when you go to like the now the Supercross Live and the Pro Motocross has finally caught up now, but
Mm-hmm.
these guys are so much more, ahead than AMA is right now, and we're huge, as far as motocross goes. You know, we're, maybe not. I would say probably the biggest series here in America, other than
Mm-hmm.
MXGP, which is worldwide, but still. So I don't know. Some things make sense and some things don't.
Yeah, I mean, well, the reason I say Dick is just because, like, I mean, people can say what they want about him. He may be a dick. He may be a douche. I mean, if you're like that, I'll tell you to face. I don't give a shit.
Right.
But when somebody's smart, I'm going to give him credit where credit's due, and that dude's fucking smart.
Yep.
Like
I mean,
when it comes to building a platform
yep.
and business wise, I mean, dude, the year Hayden was on like not like last year he was on Super Minis at Loretta's. It was like that dude. Like I guarantee he turned that kid into a millionaire. Like he's made more money off of social media than he'll ever make riding a dirt bike.
Absolutely.
Like
Absolutely.
he don't even have to ride a fucking dirt bike. He don't even have to win a championship. He don't even have to get on the fucking podium.
Nope.
Like
Nope. He could literally just sit at the crib and just ride in the backyard making videos and making insta bangers and just be perfectly fine.
yes, like dude, we was at Loretta's and like every like the top like schoolboys, of course Super Mini, but Pro and B like they live broadcast B and A on NBC for Loretta's.
Right.
Dude, Super Mini, like when they kick out on the gate, you couldn't stand nowhere. I'm
Yeah.
talking about like all of Loretta's was at the fence line. You couldn't find nowhere to see. You had to stand on somebody's shoulders or climb in a tree.
Yep. Yep. Or go
And
or go to the bridge and get binoculars.
yes, like dude, it was literally that many people. Not like actually that was the biggest Loretta's has ever been that year. Matter of fact, they was
Yep.
parking out past Loretta's house.
Yeah, that was 21 because of the whole COVID deal and all that.
Yeah, now don't get me wrong. Like I understand COVID had a lot to do with it,
Yep. But
but
that was a lot of people there.
it was a lot of people there, and you think like it had a lot to do with how he like set that kid up. Even with Haley, like dude, those kids are set. Even Huxon, and don't get me wrong, like Huxon, he could probably be like hella good, just as good as Hayden if he wants to. But I think he's smart enough to where he knows I don't have to do this shit. Like I'm fucking set. Like I can
Yeah.
keep doing this YouTube stuff and get chips, buddo.
Yeah, yeah, and we're gonna see what he's all about. Is he is not doing Supercross next year, but gonna do Pro Motocross, I believe. So he's gonna do Futures.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so he's gonna do Futures, and then he's gonna do the entire outdoor series.
Yeah, but I
Okay.
mean, I wasn't trying to get off subject, but just like as far as that platform, like WS, like they're doing good. But like you say, I think it is like it's too many interfering, but it's how they're doing it.
Yeah. I,
And
I mean, we have to give Adam Bailey a pat on the back because I believe that was the incentive to give the riders and perhaps give the riders more money. I believe that the
mm-hmm.
money factor came in when they heard about how much money that WSX was forking up. So, which you can look at it either way that you want, regardless of the fact the riders are making money. Now,
Oh yeah.
another topic that we can get into real quick is that Jason Wygant came out, Weege, who is the voice of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, GNCC Racing. If you're paying, he is saying. And Weege was talking about on his YouTube channel, is the sport dying? Now, within his episode that he is talking about different angles that you can look at the sport to say that if it is dying or not. But you have to look at it that the riders are being paid more, and that's what we all want because we always talk about how our riders, our professional athletes, do not get paid enough. And now, they're getting the opportunity to get paid enough. They're going to be on a worldwide TV, spectrum network that anybody can, available can watch. So I don't know, Heavy D. Do you think right now in at the end of 2022, do you believe that the world of motocross is going back to its dying stage, or maybe its moderate stage, right there at that 2019, beginning of 2020 stage?
I'm going to say yeah, and people are probably going to say I'm crazy, but you got to look outside. The reason I say people say I'm crazy because if you look at how this year went, like I think this year was sweet. Don't get me wrong, like, and the reason I say that is because like you had guys like Tomac, Sexton, like Rocks and Webb, all those guys made this year sweet. Like, we finally won Destinations after 11 years. I mean, Tomac killed it. Like, it was a lot of people there. But the reason I say it is dying is because coming out, like, how the teams are picking riders. And I'm not firing shots at any riders.
Yep.
Let me get that clear offhand. But I can say it's a lot of riders out here that are getting overlooked that would keep the sport at a top level.
And I think social media, and I think that fan interaction has a lot to do with it. I think that's kind of where you're going with that. If I see what you're saying, because the Hayden Deegan thing is amazing for Star Racing. That's amazing for Yamaha, right? Like, dude, people are gonna go buy YZF 250s or YZ 250S because of Hayden Deegan.
Exactly.
And people are gonna go buy YZ 450Fs, not me, Suzuki RM Army, but there's going to be people out there that watch it that's an average fan that's going to be like, okay, that's the best motorcycle. I'm going to go and buy that thing and race it in 2023 at my local spot. Or they could even watch Casey Cochran in the 125 class on at Loretta's and be like, hey, that's the best 125. I'm going to go and buy one. So so it I think it all depends on the situation.
Yeah, like I just I don't feel it's at the point where people back in the day, it's crazy because like Stu admitted to it, but like back in like 06, 07 when he was on Cowie's, like, and Ricky was on Suzuki's, people were going to buy those bikes because that's what was dominating.
Right.
Those two dudes were dominating. And little did people know, Stewart said that bike was so shit. It was horrible.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
Like, that's not the reason I don't think people are going to buy bikes right now. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, people are going to buy Yamahas because Star Yamaha is fucking dominating.
Right.
But at the same time, people are starting to switch that over and go get a Honda because Jet and Chase was like, even though Chase didn't win, like, he was still ripping. And Jet was, like, on a new level.
Right. And these manufacturers help pay these athletes. And if us, the consumers, or the fans of the sport, the consumers of these motorcycles, dirt bikes, do not go and buy these motorcycles from your local dealership, then their budget gets slimmer and slimmer every single year. But with that being said, it's great that the MX Sports and Feld Entertainment have come together finally, which it has been a very long time coming when this should have happened. Yeah. But they came together. We're going to have to see what happens next year. I have to give the WSX for how I think it went pretty smoothly. A lot of the riders said that they liked it. They said the track could have been a little different because of the it was just very goat trailish. Everybody was doing the same lines, that sort of thing, which I can't give them too much flaws because, this is their first time Blah 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 blah. So, but overall, I'd have to give it an 8, just like you, just because it was fun to watch something different. We needed, I believe the sport needed a little bit of a change, a little bit of, maybe a little bit of, I don't know, just something more than your average, motocross, MXGP, and AMA Supercross. We needed
Yeah.
something more, and we got great guys to come back. Cole Seeley came back, Josh Grant, Chad Reed. These guys come back, and it's cool to see, and I'm sure the people in Wales, Cardiff, absolutely loved it. So I believe that is good. Speaking on other pro topics, we'll move along. Muscan is going to O'Neill Racing gear
Oh,
instead of Thor for 2023. I do not know if it's a 2-year or a 1 year. I'm going to say 1 year because we're not sure what he's going to do, if he's SX only and then going to go to WSX, or what shall have you. And then obviously we've already talked about the Nichols to HRC Honda deal. We could talk about that for a second before we move along to Silver Valley talk and wrap up this first episode of the Imperative MX podcast. Thank you for everybody that has been watching or listening on YouTube. Make sure that you guys like, subscribe, and comment if you guys are enjoying, and give us some topics to speak about down there in the comments section. So, what is your opinion on the Nichols to HRC Honda? I believe that it is a good thing, because Colt was not able to show anything this year. He had one heat race, not even one full lap, and his entire year was done. So
I like it.
So I personally like it, because this gives Colt almost like this is your shot. And like you need to do something with this, right? But at the same time, I believe that this Honda will work very well with Colt's riding style. He's not a very overly aggressive, rever or anything like that. He's very stylish. He's very good on the motorcycle, very balanced. So I think moving to this 450 HRC Honda will be a very good move for Colt Nichols in 2023 SX only. Heavy D?
Yeah, I like it, and the reason I like it is because I've raced with Colt before. I mean, I wasn't in the same time zone as him, but like being around him, knowing him, and have raced with him, like a lot of people don't. I don't think a lot of people realize, like, as far as being able to hop off one bike and go to another, he's like he's hella good at it. Like, he can get comfortable quick. I think like he can adjust.
Right.
Like, I remember like 2010 Ponca, he raced like 7-8 classes, dude. It was insane.
Holy
and
cow.
he raced two-stroke on
Yeah.
a brand new Yamaha YZ250. Never even rode it, and he won.
That's when you know somebody has talent.
Like, yeah, dude, it's like, and he has a good feel for bikes. He's like, it's almost like, not trying to compare, but like everybody, like Freddie, if you know Freddie Norn,
Yep.
the dude's like an insane test rider. Not only is he fast, but like he can feel shit that nobody else really can.
Yeah.
And like Colt is like, no discredit to Freddie, but like far as speed wise, I think he's a bit faster version of that, and knowing what he wants out of a bike and what he needs. I think that's like, even though everybody knows Star, like I say, Star is top notch, but I think that's what made him successful at Star. He knew what he wanted.
Yeah.
And he knew what it was going to take.
And you almost have to take into consideration that he is changing teams, changing scenery. It's maybe a grass is greener on the other side for Colt Nichols 45. So that is a good switch. And so next on our topic is Silver Valley. And tell me a little bit about Silver Valley, and then we'll get into some more talks about it.
Yes, sir. I cannot wait. Like, dude, that's I
It's gonna
call
be
it Big
sick.
Thad's country. Oh, dude, it's gonna be epic. Like,
Yep.
man, it's like in the Carolinas. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discrediting any track. We've got some insane tracks around here. I've helped work on a bunch of the tracks. A bunch of track owners I'm good buddies with, and they all do an amazing job, dude. And everybody has their vision of what they want. Like, you got some people that want to cater to like riders that are weekend warriors, kids that are just starting out and want to have fun, or like just your average beginner kid that just wants to get out of school, go race the weekend locally, and
Yep.
have some fun.
Right.
Or you got like my style where I love like big jumps, gnarly tracks, like thinking outside of the box, building something that's not around. And like for me, that's what Silver Valley is. Like Thad, like him, his family, they've done an amazing job. Like I'm talking about, they've killed it. And like even far as running it, his wife, his sister, his son Chasen's girlfriend Camille, who runs all the day to day. Like anytime you need anything, like you get in touch with her, she's on it.
Yep.
Like, dude, they put a lot of work in it, and we've been like, even this past Saturday, we did a lot of work. I mean, we moved 350 loads of dirt in one day, dude.
Man, that is a
Like,
lot of dirt.
when Thad's like, and when he's ready to move dirt, dude, don't mess around. Like, he had a 324 cat, two 35-ton off-road dump trucks, and a D5 dozer. Like,
He
and he
had
had
him.
another 310 Honda excavator on standby. It broke, but still. Like, when he's ready to move dirt and make stuff happen, he ain't messing around. And, like, he's putting 20K up. Best whip competition's going down. Pit bike competition. Like, last year, they gave away a AR-15 off a raffle ticket just coming through the gate. And I think they're doing that again. And if you win the best whip competition, you get an AR-15.
There you go. If you win the best whip competition at Silver Valley, you will be walking away with an AR-15 that you cannot use unless you are heavily adulted supervision.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yep.
But no, that's cool. All jokes aside, that is very, very cool that Silver Valley is on board here with the Imperative MX podcast, along with their race AB shootout. As Heavy D said, $20,000 per moto. Per moto, by the way, it's not overall; it's per moto. So,
Oh yeah, dude. If you win one moto, it's $1,750
yep.
per moto to win.
Yep, and that will be good for some of you local guys that are maybe even going down south to do some races for the winter, or trying to go to a training facility for a month or so. There's your winning prize money right there, just in one moto at Silver Valley MX Park. What is the town called?
Oh, Lexington, North Carolina.
Lexington, North Carolina. Make sure that you guys go there and check it out. We are going to get or try to get the best pros that are around the surrounding area. See if Heavy D can stick his nose in Club MX and get some of those guys to come out, maybe.
Oh, we
And
want, dude, top A. And if you feel like you're the baddest B rider around, like,
hey, if you think that you are the baddest rider around the surrounding area, state, or if you want to come from California and you want to show the East Coast dudes what's up, then November 3rd through the 5th, Lexington, North Carolina, Silver Valley MX Park, $20,000 on the line.
yes, I mean, hey, only way to prove it is to do it.
That's right.
That's all I can say. Come on out, and I'm gonna go ahead and say, Silver Valley, it is no joke. It is no slouch. It's a legit pro national, if not better.
Yeah, if you want deep ruts that start from the time that you land off a jump into the next jump, which could be 2 or 3 corners before, you will be in the same line in knee-deep ruts. I've ridden there multiple times myself. My dad does not live very far from there, so when I'm down there, I'll be able to visit a little bit of family and spectate the amazing event that the family over there at Silver Valley MX Park is going to be putting on. Now, this is their How many years have they been putting on this? Because I know that it's this is not like the second year. I know it's more than that.
No, it's the second year.
Oh, this is just the second year. Okay, because
Yeah, last
Hayes
year
won it
their first
last year,
race,
right?
the first race ever was a pro shootout last year.
Oh, okay, okay. So their first one ever was last year. Okay, I thought maybe 2020 at the end, maybe. Um,
No, like the first time they ever dropped a gate at that place was last year, and it was the pro shootout.
there you go. So not very many people get gate drops at this place, which could be beneficial for anybody that comes on out. So make sure you guys mark your calendars and come out for an amazing event. And I'm sure that there will be other things going on late night. So come on and hang out, meet Heavy D and myself out at Silver Valley. Before we wrap this up, we want to say thank you for to each and every person that watches this and supports Imperative MX or Heavy D doing all of his dirt moving and amazing imagination dirt jumps that he builds for these motocross athletes like myself and perhaps even like you. If you are listening right now, you could have ridden a track that Heavy D built and designed and you did not know it. Isn't that funny? So make sure to follow Heavy D on all the socials. Yeah, got to give a shout out to FXR. Make sure to go to fxrracing.com. The best size, fitting, and ventilation that I have ever worn, in my opinion. And I have been constantly with them for the past 3 to 4 years, and I could not be any more grateful for their support through a little bit of my career along into Imperative MX, along with West Virginia Motorsports. That is where I went and bought my Suzuki RMZ 450 2023 2 weeks ago, and I could not be any more happy with my friends over at West Virginia Motorsports. So if you are around the surrounding area, need parts for your bike, need a new bike, pre-owned, new, anything, motorcycle, ATV, UTV, you name it, they got it. Make sure to go and check them out. Princeton, West Virginia Motorsports. Also have to give a shout out to Hydropower. Hydropower is formulated by a sports nutritionist to help get rid of arm pump and increase your endurance so you can ride safer and faster. To learn more and to order yours now, go to drinkhydropower.com to get your new flavor, Blue Raz, today. Well, Heavy D, that is the end of episode number 1. We went a little bit longer than expected, but we got into some good topics tonight.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. I'm super stoked on it. I can't wait for everybody to listen and get everybody else's take on it. I mean, I hope everybody chimes in, gives us some more subjects to talk about, and I mean, hey, go support the supporters. Go support the ones that support us, because without them, we couldn't do it, and they couldn't do it without you guys. So all our sponsors, hey, go look them up, look into them, and get in touch with them. We greatly appreciate you guys and them.
Absolutely. If you guys do not support the ones that support the sport, then there will be no support. And just like Heavy D said earlier, it could be dying. So with your little gracious help and for your protection of grabbing parts or going to go get a brand new motorcycle and making the wife mad, that is hugely beneficial to the motocross community, and we greatly appreciate all the sponsors on board, and we appreciate you, all of the fans in attendance, listening or watching from home, your car, at work, anything like that. So we greatly appreciate it, and until next time, we will see you back here in, I would say, in about a week or so is the next one that we're going to do. We're going to try and do these every Tuesday, and they should be published no later than Thursdays. And we have a lot more that's going to be coming soon, and a lot more to talk about. So like Heavy D said, make sure to comment, subscribe, and let us know some topics that you guys want us to talk about or anything else in the future. And Zach Newberry, along with Heavy D, we're out. Thank you, guys.